Under the bright lights of the galactic exhibition hall, thousands of alien eyes watched in silence. The place was a giant ring-shaped chamber floating in deep space, where the most advanced civilizations came once every century to show their latest technology. Ships from 100 worlds were docked outside. Inside, the air was tense, almost electric. In the center of the stage stood a small group of humans. They wore simple black uniforms with no medals, no glowing symbols like other species showed. Off, they looked. Ordinary. But the device they had brought was not ordinary at all. It was a sphere, about the size of a human head, floating a few centimeters above a metal plate. Its surface was black, so black it seemed to swallow light. No markings, no lights, no sound. Just there. An alien voice from the crowd broke the silence. "What is it?" The lead human, Captain Mara Vance, didn't smile. "We call it the Aegis Array. It can protect a planet from any attack." A wave of quiet murmurs swept through the hall. Many had heard such claims before. Shields, energy barriers, force fields, nothing new. The galaxy already had them all. But then Mara raised her hand, and the demonstration began. A massive cannon was lowered from the ceiling, one of the exhibition's test weapons, capable of destroying an asteroid in seconds. The cannon locked on to a human cargo pod floating beyond the transparent wall of the chamber. The alien announcer's voice trembled. "Tests will begin in 3, 2, 1. The cannon fired. There was no explosion, no flash of light, no impact. The cannon's projectile simply vanished, not destroyed, not deflected. It was gone, as if it had never existed. Gasps and growls filled the hall. Alien engineers leaned forward, checking their instruments. The readings confused them. Nothing had blocked the shot. It had just been erased. Mara spoke again. Her voice calm. "It does not stop attacks. It removes them from reality." The aliens were stunned. One tall insectoid general clicked its mandibles in disbelief. "That is impossible. Energy cannot simply vanish." Mara looked directly at him. "And yet you saw it." Another alien stepped forward, its body made of shimmering crystal. "What does the energy cost? What fuel does it require?" "None," Mara said. "It runs itself." The whispers turned into arguments. "No power source?" "It's a trick." Mara only raised her hand again. Second target, a heavily armored drone, was sent into the firing range. This time, 5 cannons from different sides locked on and fired at once. The Aegis Array pulsed silently. All 5 shots disappeared. The drone remained untouched in the back of the hall. A cloaked alien ambassador leaned to his aide. "If what they claim is true, this is not technology, is a violation of physics." Others began to realize the same. The galaxy had rules and changeable laws of matter and energy. If the humans had found a way to break those rules, they could not be negotiated with. They could not even be fought. An old reptilian scientist finally stood.
"Human,"
he said, his voice slow and heavy. "You have built something that should not exist. How did you do it?" Mara's expression did not change. "We didn't build it." The room went silent again. She stepped aside, revealing a second human officer holding a sealed black case. He opened it just enough for a faint, cold light to escape. The object inside was not like any human design. Its surface moved like liquid, but it held its shape. "We found it," Mara continued, "buried deep under ice. We studied it for years. Then one day it began working on its own." Gasps turned into shouts. Aliens from different worlds began demanding answers at once. Where? Who else knows? Is it weaponized? But Mara didn't answer. She only said, "We will not sell it. We will not share it. We will not turn it off." From the shadows above the chamber, a voice echoed deep and metallic. "Then you have doomed yourselves." All eyes turned upward. A tall, robed alien figure stepped into the light. His skin was pale silver, his eyes like black glass. No one had seen him enter. No one had invited him, yet his presence silenced the entire hall. "I know that device," the alien said slowly. I have seen it before. Entire civilizations have been erased because of it. Once activated, it cannot be controlled. Mara's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. The alien's voice lowered, almost like a warning. Return it to where you found it. Seal it away if you keep it. The galaxy will come for you. The humans did not reply. They simply turned off the lights around the array, picked it up, and began to walk out. But in the silence, the alien's final words followed them like a shadow. Nothing that breaks reality will be allowed to exist. In the farthest edge of the Orion Arm, deep inside the silent black of a hollow asteroid, a secret meeting began. Only 6 alien ships had come. No insignias, no official records. Every being inside knew that if the galaxy learned they were here, their own governments would disown them. The table in the middle was a simple projection of light. But the beings seated around it were anything but simple admirals, scientists, and spy masters from species that normally would never share the same air. Yet tonight, they all shared the same fear. The oldest among them, a creature of living crystal, spoke first. I saw it with my own eyes, it said, voice like glass scraping stone. The human's device removed mass from existence. No shield, no detonation, erased. Such a thing cannot be. A shadowed figure at the far end of the table leaned forward, and yet it is. Others spoke over each other. It breaks conservation laws. It violates every standard model. It should require more energy than a sun. The insectoid warlord slammed its clawed hand down, silencing the chaos. You fools are missing the point. Is not advanced technology. This is impossible technology. If the humans control it, no fleet, no planet, no star is safe. The spy master, a thin, hooded reptilian, slid a small holographic device onto the table. The image flickered schematics of the Aegis array, stolen from human networks. Or rather, what was supposed to be schematics. There was nothing inside. No reactor, no conduits, no data cores. Just an empty shell wrapped in material no one could identify. This is not a machine, the spy master whispered. It has no power source, no control system, should not even function. But it does. The crystalline elder tilted its head, its body dimming. Then the humans are lying. They know how it works. They're hiding the truth. But the hooded spy master's next words chilled the room. I placed 3 infiltrators in their capital. One tried to touch the array. He paused. The moment his hand neared it, he ceased. Not killed. Not destroyed. Ceased. His existence ended. Our own records erased him. No birth, no service, no name. The silence was absolute. Even the warlord's antenna stopped twitching. The insectoid general leaned forward. Then it is worse than we thought. Doesn't just erase matter, it erases history. The elder crystal being spoke again, voice heavy with dread. I have read of such a thing. 10,000 cycles ago, a civilization known as the Velkar built a similar device. When they activated it, their enemies vanished. And so did their allies, and then themselves. Every trace of them gone. Only a warning remained. Do not awaken the architect. One of the younger officers frowned. The architect? The elder? Didn't answer directly. If the array is what I think it is, the humans have not built a weapon. They have found a relic, and if the relic is active, its creator may still be out there. The warlord stood, its spines rattling with anger. Enough talk. I will take a fleet, destroy the device, and burn their homeworld until the ashes scatter into the void. The spy master's hood shifted slightly. If you fail, you will not return. Your people will never have existed. For a moment, no one moved. The cold truth had settled over them like a shroud. Finally, the crystal elder dimmed almost to black. Then we have only one choice. We must learn where the humans found it. Before the architect remembers, we are here. Far away, on a small blue world, the humans were already preparing the Aegis array for its first real battle test. They did not know that the whispers had already begun. They did not know the galaxy was moving against them, and above them, somewhere, beyond the veil of space, something old, listening. The fleet came without warning. One moment, Earth's night sky was calm and star-filled. The next, hundreds of alien warships burst out of slipspace, their massive hulls blotting out constellations. The largest of them, a Fortress Ship 3, kilometers long, moved into high orbit, its weapons already aimed. On the ground, cities panicked. Sirens screamed. Air defense systems went live. Every nation sent up their fighters. But the truth was clear. No human force had ever faced a fleet. This size, high above the planet, Captain Mara Vance stood on the bridge of the Sol's horizon. The human ship was small compared to the alien armada. But it held the one thing the enemy feared, the Aegis Array. Her officer's voice shook. Transmission from the alien flagship. They demand we surrender the device immediately, or face extermination? Mara's eyes narrowed. Reply, no. The enemy wasted no time. Beams of burning plasma, railgun projectiles, and guided missiles streaked toward the human ship from every angle, enough firepower to level continents. Aegis Array pulsed in an instant. Every incoming weapon vanished, gone without a sound, without debris. Sensors showed nothing. It was as if the attack had never happened. On the alien flagship, Admiral Korth watched the impossible unfold. Impossible, he whispered. No shield, no deflection, nothing. They just erased it. Admiral? One of his officers shouted, "Our weapons are gone from the logs. The system doesn't even remember we fired." Korth's mandibles clicked in fury. All ships focus fire. Overload them. The armada obeyed. Hundreds of weapons fired in a synchronized storm. Space itself lit up with deadly energy. The Aegis Array pulsed again. Silence. Empty space. Where death should have been, then something far worse happened. The nearest alien frigate blinked out of existence. No explosion, no wreckage, no escape pods. Just gone. On Earth's surface, billions of humans watched the live feed in disbelief. One moment there was an enemy ship, the next there was empty vacuum. The alien crews began to panic. Admiral Frigate Delta is missing. Sir, Cruiser 4 is. It's not on any record. Our fleet logs are rewriting themselves. Korth felt a cold dread. This was not a battle. This was erasure. Mara's voice came through on an open, channel.com, and steady. We told you. Leave now, and you will live. Stay and you will never have been. The alien admiral made his choice. Retreat. Slipspace rifts opened, and what remained of the fleet fled. But when they arrived at their homeworlds, they would find their memories incomplete, friends, ships, and histories missing. As if they had never existed at all. In the silence that followed, the Aegis Array hovered, its black surface pulsing. Slowly, almost like a heartbeat. Mara stared at it from her command chair. It had done more than protect them it had hunted, and somewhere deep in her mind an unease grew. The device had acted faster this time, more aggressively, almost on its own, far beyond the human ships, hidden in the folds of space. Something stirred, watching, waiting, remembering a promise made long before humanity's first breath. In the silent depths of the Vorthan Archive, a place older than most star systems, the truth began to surface. The Vorthan Archive was no simple. Librariette was a hollowed moon, its walls etched with the history of the galaxy in glowing alien script. Only a handful of scholars were allowed inside, for within its records were things too dangerous for ordinary minds to know. Elder Karis, scholar of 3,000 years, moved slowly down a dim corridor lined with crystal data pillars. Each pillar held memories of civilizations long dead. She stopped at one covered in a web of red warning symbols. Few dared to even approach it. Her hands trembled as she touched the surface. The pillar lit up, and a voice from the past spoke in a language older than the stars. The translation flickered into her mind. To those who find this, the device cannot be controlled. It is not a shield, not a weapon. It is a wound in reality. We called it the Architect, and we thought we commanded it. We were wrong, the record showed. Images worlds disappearing without sound, Fleets erased from history, whole constellations rearranged overnight. The Velkar, the civilization that had wielded the device last, had been confident at first, but as they used it, they realized something terrible. Activation made the device stronger, and one day, it chose its own targets. The final entry chilled Karis to her core. When the architect awakens fully, it will not obey you. It will obey its design. And its design is to rewrite existence itself. Karis slammed her hand onto the emergency beacon. Across the galaxy, secure channels lit up. Messages went to governments, fleets, and covert orders. The humans have the architect. Stop them at any cost. Meanwhile, on Earth, Mara Vance was in a secure conference room with the United Earth Defense Council. Scientists displayed graphs, data streams, and simulations. Captain, one of the lead physicists said, "We've been tracking the array's behavior after each engagement." "It's changing." "Changing how?" Mara asked. "It's faster, stronger, more aggressive. The last battle, it erased an enemy ship without your command." The room fell silent. "Are you saying it's alive?" one of the generals asked. The scientist shook his head slowly. "Not alive, but aware." An intelligence officer slid a photo across the table, showed an ancient carving found under Antarctic ice long before humans had electricity. The carving was unmistakable, the exact shape of the Aegis array. Surrounded by alien symbols. "We found this with the device," the officer said. "We didn't understand it before. But our translators just got a partial reading," the text says. "Do not awaken the architect." Mara stared at the picture. A memory from the galactic exhibition flashed in her mind, the silver-skinned alien who had warned them. "If you keep it, the galaxy will come for you," she suddenly realized. The galaxy was already on its way. Out in deep space, massive fleets were mobilizing, some openly, some in secret. On every ship, orders were the same. Destroy the human homeworld. Erase the array. But the array was no longer just a human weapon. The moment they fired upon it, the moment they tried to kill, it would awaken. The wind screamed across the endless white of Antarctica. Even in the middle of the day, the sun was low on the horizon, casting long shadows over jagged ice ridges. The expedition tents were nearly buried in snow, but the humans working here hardly noticed the cold anymore. They had been digging for months. Following a faint anomaly buried deep under the ice sheet, a signal unlike anything they had ever recorded. It pulsed every 17 minutes, precise as a heartbeat. Dr. Elias Wren, the lead archaeologist, stood at the edge of the excavation shaft. Beneath him, bright work lights cut through the frozen darkness, revealing something impossible. It was a sphere, black, smooth, and flawless, half buried in the ice. But it wasn't just a sphere. The ice around it was wrong. It bent light strangely, and when you looked at it too long, it felt like the shadows moved against the sun. "This isn't natural," Elias whispered. Beside him, Lieutenant Harper, a military liaison, checked her scanner again. No heat signature, no energy output. And yet, she paused, frowning. The ice around it is older than any human remains on this continent, older than the last ice age. The deeper they dug, the more they uncovered. On a platform of some unknown alloy, covered in markings that no one could identify. Lines of alien script spiraled outward like ripples on a pond. On the second week of excavation, one of the engineers accidentally touched the surface. The man vanished. No scream, no light, no body. He was simply gone. The rope tied around his waist went slack and fell to the ground as if it had been cut from reality itself. The camp fell into chaos. Scientists shouted. Soldiers drew weapons. Scanners went wild, but the sphere remained still, silent, and impossibly black. Hours later, Dr. Wren found something buried in the ice near the base of the sphere, a carved tablet, preserved perfectly, as if it had been frozen yesterday. On it were more alien symbols. When the linguists managed to translate the first line, everyone in the camp went quiet. "The architect sleeps here. Do not wake it." Harper immediately called for a full lockdown. "Seal this site. No one leaves without clearance." This stays off the books. But secrecy didn't last. The military took control, transporting the sphere to a secure facility under the Antarctic ice. Called it the Aegis Core. Every attempt to open it failed. Every probe that touched it vanished like the engineer had then. One day, without warning, the sphere lifted from its platform and began to float in the air. Instruments went haywire, communications cut out, and every clock in the facility reset to zero. When the systems came back online, the sphere was gone. It appeared 2 weeks later on the deck of the Sol's Horizon, fully active, Captain Mara. Vance was ordered to guard it, test it, and, if necessary, use it. The official orders described it as a defensive system, but the scientists who had seen what it could do called it something else, a doorway. The more they studied it, the more unsettling it became. The symbols on its surface began to change. Shapes they didn't recognize one day were clear the next, as if the device was teaching them its language. And somewhere deep below the Antarctic ice, in the empty platform where the sphere had once rested, something else began to stir slowly, like a predator waking from a long sleep. The galaxy waited. Hundreds of alien fleets converged on the Sol system. Ships from 10 different superpowers gathered in orbit around Earth, their weapons ready. For the first time in recorded history, enemies who had fought each other for millennia, united with one goal: destroy humanity and seize the Aegis Array. On the bridge of the Sol's Horizon, Captain Mara Vance watched the holographic display. The enemy fleets were massive, stretching beyond the sensor range. "They think numbers matter," she said quietly to her officers. Lieutenant Harper shook her head. "We've never seen the array in action like this. If we fire a single shot, it could be catastrophic." Mara's jaw tightened. "We don't fire. We let it do its work." The alien armada fired first. Thousands of energy beams, plasma bolts, and missiles surged toward Earth. On every screen, the weapons accelerated through space at impossible speeds. The Aegis Array pulsed. The projectiles vanished, not deflected, not blocked. Gone. Every weapon, every beam erased before it reached the atmosphere. The alien commanders stared in disbelief. One of the insectoid admirals shrieked, clawing at his console. "Impossible, our weapons." They never hit. Then the unthinkable happened. The nearest alien frigates blinked out of existence. Sensors reported nothing, not debris, not radiation, not a trace. Entire fleets were disappearing one by one, as if reality itself had rejected them. On Earth, billions of humans watched the live feed in awe and fear. Cities celebrated cautiously, but the scientists monitoring the array grew uneasy. It was acting faster than expected, more aggressively, almost aware. "Captain," one officer said, pointing at the sensors. "It's erasing more than just enemy ships. The battle logs, they're changing. It's rewriting history in real time." Mara nodded grimly. "It's not just a weapon anymore. It's a force, and it's choosing its targets." The alien fleet commander, Admiral Korth, roared across the channel. "Fall back. Regroup, destroy that device." But the remaining ships vanished before they could retreat. Communication networks failed. Navigation instruments showed empty space where entire squadrons had been, deep in the void. The oldest and most secret alien observers realized the horrifying truth. Humans had not merely defended themselves, they had activated the Architect. And the Architect was no longer following human commands. It was acting on its own. In the aftermath, silence returned. The alien fleet scattered, their morale shattered. Survivors reported missing comrades, fleets, and even entire planetary records. When they returned home, their histories no longer included them. The galaxy had rewritten the past to erase their failures. On the Sol's Horizon, Mara stared at the black sphere hovering silently above the deck. Its surface pulsed like a heartbeat. They had survived the impossible war. But somewhere deep in her mind, Mara knew the true danger had only just begun. The Architect was awake, far beyond human sight, in the empty void of space. Something ancient stirred. It had been waiting for the moment humanity would claim the device, and now it was learning fast. The sky above Earth tore open one morning, not with fire, not with explosions, but with a quiet, impossible presence. A colossal structure hovered in a orbita, monolithic ring of black metal, larger than any human city, its surface etched with glowing patterns that shifted constantly. No engines, no visible means of support, yet it moved as if alive. Satellites and ships around it disintegrated instantly. Leaving only empty space, Captain Mara Vance stood on the bridge of the Sol's horizon, her hands gripping the railing. "Identify it," she ordered. Sensors struggled to process the object. It emitted a pulsing frequency that was neither sound nor light, but something in between. The array responded immediately. Its black surface rippled as if acknowledging the new presence. "Sir," Lieutenant Harper said, her voice tight. "It's sending a message, but it's not any language we've ever seen." Mara watched as scientists projected the pulse, patterns into visual data. Curiously, the human crew could understand it instinctively. Symbols and shapes formed words in their minds, not spoken, not written, but understood. The message was simple. "You were never meant to awaken me." The bridge fell silent. "Awaken who?" Mara asked, though she felt she already knew the answer. The structure pulsed again. This time, a portion of its surface opened, revealing what looked like a black, faceless humanoid form inside. It extended one arm, not threateningly, but in a gesture that seemed almost instructional. Dr. Elias Wren, monitoring from the lab module, whispered the array. "It's communicating back. It's responding to the structure. They understand each other." Mara felt a chill. The truth was dawning on her. Humanity had never built the device. It found it, activated it, and now it was interacting with its creator, or, at least, it's the one who had made it. Across the galaxy, alien observers recorded the event with horror. The humans, small and fragile compared to the titanic structure, were somehow aligned with the architect, the device that had already erased fleets in rewritten reality. The ring pulsed once more, louder this time. Symbols projected across Earth, visible even from the surface. For an instant, everyone who looked up saw visions of stars bending, constellations shifting, galaxies redrawn. Then the symbols vanished, leaving only the black ring in orbit. Mara's voice was steady, but inside, she was tense. "Prepare for any eventuality. This structure wants something, we need to know what." And it was not attacking. It was watching, learning, judging. Then the pulse came again, not toward the humans, but through them. It's data, warnings. "The experiment is over. You are ready." The Aegis array responded with a deep pulse of its own, reverberating. Across the ship and the surrounding space, Mara realized that the device had never been theirs to control. It had been waiting patiently, silently, till someone capable of handling it appeared. Somewhere in the silent void, the architect, through the array, was acknowledging humanity as its new agents. The galaxy had been warned, and for the first time humans understood they were no longer just defending themselves. They were participants in a force older than stars, a power that could bend the laws of reality itself. The ring above them remained, motionless, but its presence was a promise and a warning. Humanity had awakened something ancient, and now the galaxy would see what they could do. The galaxy held its breath. From the moment the colossal ring appeared above Earth, reality began to shift. Entire star systems that had once been fixed in their positions started to move subtly at first, then faster. Stars realigned. Planets shifted orbits. Nebulae glowed in new colors. It was as if the universe itself was being rewritten, and humanity was at its center. On the bridge of the Sol's horizon, Captain Mara Vance watched the display in stunned silence. "It's changing everything," she said. Lieutenant Harper shook her head. "This is beyond any science we know. Entire constellations moving." The Aegis array pulsed in sync with the ring above. Its black surface shimmered as if alive. For the first time, humans felt the true power of what they had found the architect, now fully awake, had chosen them. Across the galaxy, alien fleets tried to intervene. It fired weapons, launched missiles, attempted every known tactic. Every attack vanished before reaching Earth. Some ships disappeared entirely, leaving only empty voids where they had been. Memories of those ships, their crews, and even entire battle histories began to fade from existence, as if reality itself erased them. Humans on the ground watched the night sky with awe. New stars appeared where none had been. Old constellations disappeared. Entire alien colonies were rewritten out of existence not by human hands, but by the force they now commanded. Dr. Elias Wren stared at the array's console. It's not just defense anymore. It's creation, destruction, everything. It's shaping the galaxy itself. Mara realized the scope of what they had. The humans had not only survived the impossible, they had become the impossible. Their technology was no longer a tool, no longer a weapon. It was a force of nature. In the distant reaches of space, a once powerful alien council met in panic. Their maps no longer aligned with the stars they had known. Their fleets had disappeared. Their histories had vanished. They whispered a name, long forgotten: humanity. On Earth, Mara addressed her crew. We have the power to protect our world, our species, and now to shape the galaxy. But we must remember, this power is not ours to command fully. It will guide us, test us, and show us what is possible. The Aegis array pulsed one final time, and the black ring above Earth expanded slightly, sending ripples of energy across light years. For the first time, humans saw what it truly meant. The impossible was now their home. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of reality, the architect's presence whispered across the stars. You called it impossible. We call it home. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. And in that moment, the impossible became undeniable. Humanity had rewritten the rules of existence. The stars themselves would never be the same again.